You know, there are a lot of dude bros out there who want you to know that they aren't misogynistic and that the patriarchy is all just a figment of our collective imaginations. But the excuses are dwindling because some recent events have caused quite the stir in the NFL. It appears the rules have changed and there will be, let's say, more men on the field.
A wise guy, eh?
Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, and today is August 13th, 2025. And while enjoying my coffee and sativa this morning, I came across a story I honestly thought might be from the Babylon Bee. And lo, I was pleased to find out it was not. I also see that it's rustling feathers the same way Taylor Swift simply existed in a football jersey used to with conservatives. So I chose to do a little look-see, and I found out that this isn't as unusual as people might think. It's just another example of men doth protest too much, methinks. The thing is, this has gone highly underreported, and for now, that might actually be a good thing. At least until it's just established as though it had always been there. For the 2025-2026 NFL season, the Vikings have officially added two male cheerleaders, Blaize Chic and Louie Conn, to their ranks. They're fully integrated into the dance squad and perform alongside their female teammates. Since irony is dead but conservative outrage is eternal, this of course caused outrage among some Vikings fans. I can't give you the exact reasons why so many have apparently given up their season passes over this, but imagine spending years saying you believe in gender equality, bending over backwards to claim that men are just physically stronger than women and that they shouldn't compete against each other, but everything else is fine, and that the patriarchy isn't real, only to immediately throw your tickets in the garbage the second one guy with a nutsack joins the sparkly sideline titty fest, and just like that, the NFL is woke again. For those who don't regularly watch or attend football games here in the States, take a look at these ticket prices. As you can see, just for season passes, you're going to be spending at least $1,000 US, and that means fans are tossing them over one dude in a part of the field that doesn't actually involve any football, just because he's a person with a peepee. Personally, I need eggs this week, so I can't imagine parting with that much moolah. Now, I absolutely get it when the outrage comes from the people we already know are a burlap sack full of fire ant bungholes. They've been terrible since the start of all of this. The people who cheer for the patriarchy throwing hissy fits over the concept of guys dancing, I'm not shocked, but I want you to watch for the closet misogynists in your life because this will really bring out the answers that they've avoided giving for years. That somehow cheerleaders are just there as something nice for the drunk dudes in the stands to look at while the team plans their next play. If you believe that's not their intended purpose, but you still get big, complicated feelings when you now have to look at someone you're not sexually attracted to in that same group, well, checkmate, bitches. Mind you, if anyone does freak out and they show their true colors around you, the funny part is that this isn't unprecedented. Male cheerleaders have been steadily growing in the NFL, and as of 2025, 12 teams, including the Vikings, have them. Historically, male cheerleaders have existed in various capacities. Some have been stunt performers, others dancers. For example, the Baltimore Ravens were the first to include male stuntmen back in 1998. The Dallas Cowboys introduced a co-ed team known as the Rhythm and Blue Dancers in 2009. By 2018, the LA Rams, the New Orleans Saints, all had male dancers joining their squads. Other teams like the Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Philadelphia Eagles had also added male cheerleaders in later years. Even more iconic is the story of Napoleon Ginnies and Quentin Perron, who in 2019 made history as the first male NFL cheerleaders to perform during the Super Bowl with the Rams. So let's talk about these two new Vikings cheerleaders and find out more about them as fellow human beings, because their lives are genuinely impressive. Bla1 Chic began shattering norms early on. As a sophomore in high school in Fargo, he joined the Fargo South Bla1 Chic's dance team, often standing out as the only male dancer. That bold move set the tone for his trajectory as he continued to push boundaries and build his skills in a predominantly female environment. His high school efforts paid off when he earned a spot as the first male member of North Dakota State University's dance team during his freshman year. By entering that collegiate stage, Blaize demonstrated not just skill, but also the confidence and resilience to break into a space where no man had gone before. The other dancer is Louie Conn. Detailed public information on his early life is limited, but I'd be fascinated to cover it if given the opportunity. I can also understand and respect keeping a personal backstory private in times like these. Sometimes that personal space is the only place to feel comfortable. Regardless, Conn's presence on the Vikings dance squad is a powerful symbol of progress in professional cheerleading. His ability to perform alongside female teammates shows that male dancers bring energy, artistry, and athleticism to NFL cheer culture. His inclusion helps redefine expectations, showing that male cheerleaders can and should occupy the field alongside anyone, regardless of gender. So, why does this matter? Well, it really shouldn't. But the presence of male cheerleaders like Blaize and Louie reflects evolving norms in sports and entertainment. Many see this as a positive move toward diversity and representation. Unfortunately, there are also others who take what they consider a traditional stance. Former NFL player Antonio Brown made a derogatory and homophobic remark, which I will not repeat here, targeting one of the new cheerleaders, which only fueled the broader discussion around gender inclusion and what's considered acceptable in American sports entertainment. Yet, nobody seems appalled by the fact that a woman named Haley Von Voorhees played and killed it as a safety for the Shenandoah University Hornets on September 23rd, back in 2023. And here's where I personally want to lend a hand. Many of you may be trying to grow and change for the better, but still feel internal discomfort when approached with situations like this. It can be tough trying to be a better person while being bogged down by neural pathways that were established long before the internet. I sincerely feel for you, and I want to help. One of my favorite tools comes from a strategy my psych therapists helped me establish at the VA. For context, I suffer from PTSD after experiences in both the military and civilian sectors. My work was in emergency medicine and specifically PHTLS, or pre-hospital trauma life support. I'm also secular, so religious dogma doesn't help my anxiety. God has a plan never really helped me through my nightmares. I found that a lot of my issues stemmed from my inability to logically parse specific situations. Panic would take over and muscle memory would push me to do things that felt comfortable but weren't necessarily helpful. How did I fix that? The Socratic Method, and Prozac, and lots of therapy. But I digress. The Socratic Method is a way of teaching or exploring ideas through guided questioning, and it's named after the Greek philosopher Socrates. In my worst states, I'd often isolate because I wasn't asking myself the right introspective questions. Why am I feeling this way? What caused it? Have I faced this before, and what makes this situation different? Asking questions like these help me work through it. It's also where discussion cop-outs like "it's common sense" go to wither and die. So for this specific situation, here's a series of questions that may actually help you in this journey. Self-reflection on moral values and beliefs. Number one, what exactly is making me uncomfortable? The fact that there are male cheerleaders or something that I associate with them. Two, where did my ideas about who should and shouldn't be a cheerleader come from? Family? Culture? Media? Three, does this discomfort align with my core values, or does it clash with things that I claim to believe in, like equality, opportunity, and fairness? After that, this is the point where you can actually start examining perspective and empathy. Like, if someone told me I couldn't pursue a passion because of my gender, how would that make me feel? Or what might this opportunity mean to these men, their teammates, and young boys who also love to dance? And lastly, if my discomfort is about tradition, what do I think is worth preserving, and what might be worth evolving? Then at that point, you can start challenging your own assumptions. Do I believe their presence negatively impacts the sport in any objective way, or is it just different from what I'm used to? If this change doesn't harm the game or the fans' enjoyment, why is it a problem for me? Have I ever changed my mind about something I once thought was not for me or not right? And what made me change my mind? At this point, you can actually start looking forward. What would need to happen for me to feel more comfortable with this? Exposure, understanding their training and skill, seeing them in action? Can I appreciate the dedication and athleticism even if it's not what I expected to see? And as a parent, this is probably my most important consideration. If my kids or friends saw my reaction, what message would it send about acceptance and open-mindedness? Do I want them to think that learning new things is scary, or do I want them to approach everything with the same curiosity and wonder that my parents wanted for me? You see, the human mind is a wonderful thing. And when it's challenged, it truly shines. But the problem is that we also have emotions, which tend to take over our behavior more than we'd like. And our first reactions can be illogical. The best way to approach unfamiliar situations isn't with fear, but with logic and curiosity. Once you've mentally accepted something, you can take the next step toward emotional acceptance. And if you really want to grow, even small, genuine efforts will be appreciated by those who matter the most. Anyway, if you dig the content, like and subscribe. And if you think anyone could learn something new or also enjoy it the way you did, share it on your social media. I appreciate every single person who watches my content from the bottom of my heart. And as always, y'all come back now. You hear?